Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bachelor Tea Party. I am Zuri Hall, and today we are joined, of course, by Ashley Iaconetti Haibon. And we've got the Listen to Your Heart winners, Chris Watson and Bri Stauss. Hey y'all.
What's up, what's up?
And today we are going to be talking about last night's episode, of course, of The Bachelorette, from Clare and Dell's engagement to their romantic date where Chris and Bri actually made a very special appearance. And Tayshia making her epic debut. She looks absolutely stunning. We're going to break it all down. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. Clare and Dell obviously had a very romantic date where Clare confessed that she was falling in love. And Dell said the same thing. Good news, mutual vibes. How much did y'all love that moment between the two of them? I feel like we've all been kind of waiting to see it on screen. So for it to finally happen, what do you guys think?
I was blown away. I texted Bri immediately and I'm like, I see us in Clare and Dale right now. Like just the way that they're talking to each other, the emotion, the connection, like it's a very big moment to get there on TV in front of these cameras and to finally be like, hey, this is actually real. I actually found somebody who's making me feel this way. It was incredible.
Wow. I mean, like you mentioned, you and Bri were there in the room. What was the chemistry like for you? Like, what did you sense, Bri?
Oh my gosh, because we've been through it, I knew the connection they had, but I was still so nervous, you know, that one of them, I mean, obviously we knew Claire's feelings, you know, very well, and Dale's as well, but she's a bachelorette, so she gets to be, you know, more forward in that way. And so when he said, you know, the same thing, I was like, oh my gosh, I can breathe now. I was so nervous, even though I knew. And then it was just a beautiful, beautiful, exciting, celebratory night.
Yeah. Ashley, what did you think watching that connection finally happen?
I think in that moment, you're just like, okay, this is unconventional and wild, but like, it doesn't matter. They're supposed to be together. Let's just be so happy for them being together.
Claire, will you marry me?
Yes.
And obviously they ended up getting engaged. So how are you feeling when you saw that moment? Ashley, we can kick it off with you. The actual ring of it all.
Oh my God. I mean, at first with the proposal, like with them like leaving the show together and cutting it off week 4, I was like, yeah, totally. And then Chris Harrison was like, it's time to propose. And I'm like, wait a second.
Right.
But then when you think about it, you're like, well, if you are willing to just cut it short and you're at the place where like you're that committed, then yeah, of course you're gonna propose, right? Yeah. So I felt great watching it. It was beautiful. I kind of wish the episode ended with it so they could like go off into fairy tale moment the way we usually get to see and like feel that conclusion. But you know, I understand the way things work and you had to go into the other storyline, but it was a beautiful moment. I loved it.
Good. Chris and Bri, what about you? Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, okay, they're both into each other, they're in love, let's do this. When you heard about the engagement, when you realized that what was coming next, were you like, oh, wow, 4 weeks? Or were you like, okay, here we go?
You know, it was weird because we like saw them fall in love like during our song. It was the coolest thing for us to experience. We kind of felt like proud parents at the end where we're like, look, they sealed the deal right after this. And again, like that's what the show is. That's the point of it, you know? And so although I was like, whoa, at the same time, I'm like, well, why not? You know, they're in with both feet and that's the next step and that's what they're taking. So they're just going for it.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, I just seconding Bri. It felt really, we felt honored to be just a part of, you know, such a magical moment, you know, something that has never happened before in the history of the show, as well as, you know, it's very rare for love to happen like that so quickly. So it was really an honor.
And speaking of love happening like that, you know, a lot of times after people get engaged on the show, they tend to have long engagements where you just really get the time to get to know each other and kind of what you're signing up for. Do you expect that to be the case with Clare and Dale? What do we think about their current situation? Do you feel like it'll be a long engagement? Ashley?
I feel like Claire's been waiting for this her whole life and she's just ready to do it now. I feel like they will be married within the year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
As in this year?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. I meant a
I was gonna
calendar.
say we got like a month left.
Okay, a calendar year.
It's all right. We've all gone to 2020, so I just want to make sure we were on the same, or 2021.
Yeah. No, sometime in 2021 they'll be married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris,
I-
as witnesses to the chemistry in person, do you agree?
I definitely agree. I mean, Claire is all over this man, and Dale has had nothing else but just like puppy eyes for her. So I see it happening sooner than not. I hope that Bri and I are there again to hit him with Found You to make sure that the love sticks together, that we're there to sing him with another song. But I definitely see the wedding happening very soon. Yeah.
Okay. Same page, Bri? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think so. I think, it always it depends on the couple. But again, because they're so just keen on moving forward and doing this, I think it's really admirable. And I think that if you're ready, then wedding is, that's that next step. Why wait?
Okay, well, we'll definitely see till end of 2021, not 2020, to be clear, everybody.
Oh, yeah. We should also mention that like their parents, both of them had such amazingly similar stories about how they met. Claire's parents, were engaged on
Yeah.
3
like
weeks.
date number 2 or something.
Both of their parents hitchhiked. Like,
The hitchhiking thing, I was like, why are your jaws not more dropped right now? This is like
Right.
so bizarre. So I think that if they're just following the lead of their parents, like this isn't really a weird love story, and the fast track also isn't like uncomfortable for them.
Right. Runs in the families.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's like if you've grown up knowing something and seeing that it can work, why
Yeah.
would you sign up for that too if it worked for the people who made me? So I totally get it from that perspective. Next up, throwing shade. This is the portion of the show where we break down the shadiest moments of the night. And in all fairness, it wasn't a particularly shady episode. It was mostly about the love this time around. But we still had a couple. The guys obviously got super frustrated that Claire ended up ending the process early. So what did you guys think about that? I mean, we can understand why they would feel that way while also understanding that Claire was in love and found her person, right?
I
yeah.
love how you feel, Chris, as a guy.
Yeah, I mean, well, I just kind of think of it a little bit differently, having been a part of a process like this. I mean, I look at it, looking at Bri and I, like I decided very early on, like, yo, I only want to go after you. I'm only going to go after you. All bets are off. I don't want to talk to anybody else. I'm talking to you. And that's kind of what Claire decided. She's like, why am I going to waste my time? I came here to find love. Let me go after it and do it and like really do this thing. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter what the rest of the guys are going through, because like she signed up to find love. She thinks that she's found it. Go after it, Claire. It's your show. That's the way I feel. I don't know.
Gracious perspective from the male perspective.
Yeah. A lot more gracious than some. Yeah, I think, there were a lot of components like just, their whole process of filming and having to pause and quarantine and everything that goes into it. So I could see just like the exhaustion on their faces and the defeat. So I get it that maybe mentally and emotionally they were a little more high strung than maybe they would have been. But yeah, it's very frustrating on both sides because you go in also hoping and expecting the same thing, on your end. But yeah, I mean, there are definitely some things that I would not have said as a male to Claire, but I think that thinking them is natural, and that's just kind of my opinion on it. So
I think she made the much more ethical move by dumping all those guys early. Some of them will be like, I feel screwed over. It's like, but actually, wouldn't you feel more screwed over if you found out that she was like kind of faking it and lying to you and like felt like she was wasting her time whenever she was with you? You feel way more duped after that. So I'm glad that she made the decision she did. And I think like maybe after that initial shock, the guys are going to really respect her for that.
yeah, totally.
I think they actually even started to respect her I think most of them took it very well.
Yeah, I think so too, because what it is like she said in one of the in her interview, she said you can't hate on love, and they did see the connection.
I won't apologize for love. I love that.
I love that too, and the guys saw the connection that they had, and so it is
It
what
was
it is.
very brave and bold, and I don't know that many women would have handled it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I think TV kind of like exacerbates it, makes it worse. But when you think about it, even when you're dating with the cameras not rolling, at a certain point, you're like, okay, let me call up the bench and just cancel everybody because I found my person.
Yeah.
No matter what, if you've started to develop connections with other people, but you just have to do it. For her, it was definitely expedited. And I get the guys' frustrations because maybe they felt like they didn't have a fair shot or enough time. But when you know, so.
But you know what? They weren't going to catch up. So even if they did go throughout 8 weeks of filming, nobody was going to catch up with Dale.
Nobody stood a chance.
No. Even if she like really got along with some guys and there was chemistry, he was so far ahead of them, nobody could catch up.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of the guys hinted that Dale wasn't maybe the best pick for Claire, which kind of implied some things about Dale. That's kind of what it felt like they were saying. What do you guys think about that? Could there be any truth to it, or is it just the guys being haters because they don't get the girl?
Seems like jealousy to me. Yeah, there was no specifics. It's like, give me some specifics and then maybe I'll take it into account. But the fact that he was such a front runner and he's kind of like a very intimidating figure. It's like I would be, if Dale never opened his mouth, I would be jealous of Dale because of the way that he looks and carries himself.
Yeah, I mean, for someone to say that, it implies, that they possibly know more about him, and they clearly didn't. Like, they didn't, in my opinion, or at least they didn't show facts to back any of that up. So that usually to me looks like jealousy. And obviously Claire didn't care because you can't, you know what I mean? You have to figure out things on your own. Especially when all these guys are competing for you. Like, unfortunately, some of them will and did say things to try and get in the way of that.
There was some critique, a little bit of shade online, Bachelor Nation feeling also like Claire maybe picked Dale too soon. But ultimately, like we said, she went after what she wanted. What do you think about the online critiques, from the fan perspective, from the Bachelor Nation perspective? Does it matter, or is it kind of like the same theory just applies? Like, it is what it is, and she's in love.
I'm just like, guys, check yourself. If you were in that position and you were like, I have no interest in the other people, wouldn't you do the same? I don't understand. They're like angry because they didn't get the whole season that they expect. But this is honestly like not about catering to the fans. It's about the lead choosing for themselves.
Well, and it's not like this doesn't happen in real life. Like, yeah, it looks quick on camera, but if you go out with 30 guys, you know which ones you have a connection with very quickly. You know what I mean? And I think that fans may be frustrated because it is unconventional and it's different. And we need to start getting used to things being a little different, especially this year. People don't like change, but I think it's awesome and needed and good for everyone to see.
Yeah, and just going off of that, it's like, to the girls who are kind of like shading Claire for this, it's like, how many times did you say, all right, I'll go on a date with this guy because the other guy is not texting me back, whatever. And then you're sitting there at the table just waiting for the other guy to text you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's kind of like that, right? It's just like, you're going to choose that one if you have the opportunity.
We chose each other night 1/2. Like, we knew. So I'm not gonna, like, it is what it is,
Yeah, I can't there, it's fine for the people to feel that way because they want to feel that way. They want to experience something. They want to feel this. The reality of the situation is you're watching the show for Claire. You want to see her happy. Yes. She's finding happiness. That's the bottom line. Like, that's really it. I'm so happy for Claire and Dale.
Also, really funny how last season everybody was on Peter because he was so indecisive. And now we're being on Claire because she is decisive.
Very good point. Yes.
Amen. You can never please everyone.
Right? There's a double standard there if ever I have one.
So true.
Okay, y'all. Now we are going to go to a round of roses or thorns. If you liked this moment that I break down in the show, you give it a rose. If you didn't like it, it gets a thorn. First up, Blake revealing that he actually bought books on dementia and Alzheimer's, hoping that he could be a support for Claire. 1, 2, 3.
Rose.
Rose.
So sweet.
What did y'all think of that moment?
Wait, Bri, what'd you say?
Mine was a half and half, okay?
Okay.
But like I couldn't get it out because when I first
Didn't we called it a thorny rose last week. You did a thorny rose.
You do a thorny rose.
there's a little bit of both. Honestly, if somebody would have done that, like I think that's amazing.
Wait, so why was it half and half? You can tell us. This is a safe space.
She probably thinks that it was jumping to conclusions a bit and being too forward.
You know how when you like a guy and he does something that you like die over it, but if another guy did it, it's like incredibly creepy. You know? And so I'm not even like, I don't think he's creepy and I don't think that was creepy, but I'm looking at it from like my past experiences. And unfortunately, I have found things like that to be creepy when I'm not into them, but that's not a fair judgment. You know what I mean? So that's why I was going off of my own thing, but with Blake, I think it's great.
We totally understand. It's like when you're going out with a guy that you're like, oh, he's nice, I should keep going out with him, and then he gets you roses and you're like, oh, that was gross.
Yes, it's gross, and that's not fair to the guy, but it just is
Horrible.
It is. It's like you just have to want it from that person. Like I remember my boyfriend back in the early days, like one day he like showed up and just like surprised me at my house, but I was like coming home from work like, oh, but it was like adorable because I was into him. But I also had the thought, if this was anybody that I was not into and they were just on my porch, probably.
Yes.
It's a weird thing girls have. It's called being grossed out. It's hard to explain and it sounds rude, but it happens.
What are you gonna do? I thought it was thoughtful. It was sweet thing.
And Claire thought it really was, and I think it was a very sweet gesture, and Claire appreciated it. That's what matters.
What do we think about Claire sharing the story about her parents getting engaged after 3 weeks? 1, 2, 3.
Rose. Gotta be.
About that a little bit.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's just like, letting you know, hey, I love you. By the way, like my family, like we're used to shotgun weddings, so we're gonna do one too. Just buckle up, like clear for the ride. So I thought it was awesome.
That was a good one. Okay. Jason, who had that emotional connection with Claire earlier, deciding to stay. 1, 2, 3.
Rose. Yeah, he doesn't know Tayshia yet, so as might as well get to know her. He could have a stronger connection with her. Who knows?
Mhm.
Chris, Bri.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I was like heartbroken for him, but I'm like, please, please, please show up because, we've all been there. And I feel like he just would have gone home so sad and it would have taken him a while again to get back on his feet again. And that's him just like, nipping it in the bud and just going for it. So I was really impressed by that.
Yeah. And Tayshia's grand entrance, she looked like she was just stepping into her fairy tale. 1, 2, 3, all the roses.
Rose.
Roses. Oh my God, she looked so stunning. Both women just looked so stunning in this episode. Claire in that red dress, and then the white dress at the end, and then Tayshia, she just looked like a superstar. Love.
Oh yeah. It had all
Yeah,
the elements.
I think that all of the guys on the show were pretty lucky. They got put in a pretty good boat with, what they had to work with, and Tayshia as well, and Claire, the guys looked really great. So yeah, definitely Rose.
Good stuff. Roses all around. Bri, were you about to say something?
No, I disagree. Agree. That sounds like I said I disagree.
No, you're
I agree.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much. This wraps up another episode of Bachelor Tea Party. Make sure you keep up with us on the Bachelor Tea Party Facebook page in the meantime, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.